Gobble, gobble. It's Kara here, and welcome back to Oh Gross. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, we're going to have a little poultry throwback. That's right. One of our favorite episodes here at Oh Gross happened last November, back when we didn't have as many listeners as we do now. So for some of you, this story will be brand new. And for others, well, it might give you chicken fried nightmares for the rest of your life, but you're going to love it. So here we go. This is one of our favorite episodes that for today I'm going to call Poppin Chicken.
Oh, gross.
Cheesy, gooey, but cold. It was the perfect meal last night when it was hot. But now, the morning after a big night, there's no better hangover cure than old, cold mac and cheese.
Spicy, chunky, and old. Sometimes it's sitting out for a few hours at a party. Other times it just sits in your fridge in a bowl for weeks on end. It's great with tortilla chips and even better with a spoon. I'm talking about salsa.
That's your favorite thing, Jennie. It's your favorite thing.
Jennie and her old chunky salsa. Chicago style. The kind with the big, not small, the big, hunky, chunky pieces of sausage.
Kara likes big sausage.
I love big sausage from Chicago. The night before, you may not have been able to finish it, but the morning after, you have found the space. But you don't have the patience to heat it up. So that pizza that has been out for hours on end and now has been in the fridge cold, well, it's about to go down because this is our episode about leftovers.
Oh, gross. That drama's about to end, 'cause gross. Stop asking for a friend, taboos. Icky is what we do, it's just science. Yeah, it's not so weird. Your gross out journey starts right here on Oh, gross.
All right, so this episode was inspired by a great debate because Jennie dropped the bomb on me in conversation that you can't keep rice in your fridge for a whole week.
Right.
Which I think everybody does. And nobody here, none of our staff at Oh Gross believed her. We're in such terror and shock. We're like, there's no way that rice goes bad. What'd you say it was, Jennie? After 48 hours.
I thought it was 48 hours. Now, I could be wrong, but I know you can't leave it in there for
a week.
A whole week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I
then
didn't want you to get poisoned.
And then like it's Thanksgiving season and the holidays are coming. And she then says, and then she takes that and says, and potatoes, which by the way, I'm Irish and I live for my mashed potatoes, especially at Thanksgiving. She's like, they're even worse. It's like 24 hours. I was like, no. Those mashed potatoes, gratins get reheated and heated multiple times from Thanksgiving to Christmas. So here we are. And Molly has adapted all of Jennie's ways, right? Correct, Molly, where you don't keep leftovers in the fridge that long anymore.
Look, we just had some sesame chicken and fried rice this week. We had it Tuesday night, and you better know Wednesday I ate those leftovers, and they were gone out of the fridge the next day.
I can't. I mean,
I don't mess around with it. Mm-mm.
But I mean, what about food prep? I mean, you have to prep on a Sunday and then keep it in the fridge. So I then challenged and said, Jennie, we are finding the food expert to get to the bottom of these leftover debate. And
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. And all things in your fridge. I mean, this is an important information and an important time of the year.
It is.
Yes.
We don't want to be getting some scary thing growing in our old potatoes and get sick on Thanksgiving when we could just be eating more, right?
Well, I'm thinking more like I cannot have someone destroy the idea that food prep is thrown out the window because you can't keep anything in the fridge as long as you thought you could.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure I take it to the extreme, but I do know that potatoes are shorter time than rice. And I'm a freak about throwing those potatoes out, I will say.
Well, we're going to find out. We're about to find out right now. We are going to ask the person who will know. We're going to ask the food expert who's going to tell us, is it true that your rice and potatoes and everything you dreamed of are about to be destroyed in 24-hour window. And just in the nick of time, because it is the holiday season. So obviously there's a lot of leftovers going around. But also, Jennie, you're sick today, right? So you got a little cold going on?
I do. It's that time of year.
It's that time of year.
The whole household has the cold, me, the kids. So we're just plugging away, you know?
But I want to know how long that chicken soup with food prep can stay in the fridge. Because
Right?
This is important information for this time of year.
I've got some hot ramen in the fridge right now. So is it okay to eat today? Because I ordered it yesterday.
We shall find out.
Our guest today is Katie Defour. She's the account manager for a specialty food and beverage distributor.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Katie is food safety certified, has a background in food preparation and deli service management, and she's here to settle this leftovers debate once and for all, Kara.
Yes. So, Katie, we have to give you a little bit of a background here. Okay. There has been it's probably been going on now for like 2 weeks. So, Jennie dropped a bomb on me and on all of our producers here that she says rice cannot stay for all week in the fridge and that potatoes are worse. And we're like, wait a minute, everyone preps rice on a Sunday and that's your like rice all week. So we need to know, is our life ruined? That's our top question right now. Tell us about rice and potatoes.
So she's right in the fact that you can't have it all week. But the answer to this is exciting because it's easy and it's for every type of food. Meat, rice, potatoes, vegetables, fish. 3 to 4 days. All of it is 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator.
Okay, so I can have rice 3 to 4 days. Okay.
Yes, just not a full week.
Just not a full week. Okay, and what happens to the rice if it's past 3 to 4 days?
Do we want to know?
So, yeah, I mean, bacteria can start to go because it gets old, right? So even though your refrigerator at a safe temp helps to prevent that from growing, it's still going to get old and eventually grow on there. A really big thing about if you cook foods and then freeze them or refrigerate is getting them to a good temperature, a lower temperature. Because if you take something that's hot and you cover it or you bag it or do whatever, it's like more likely to grow bacteria. When you let it cool down first for 20 to 30 minutes, it helps the temperature drop, and that takes away the time frame that's in what we call the danger zone. So the danger zone is a temperature range in which bacteria can flourish. 40 to 140 degrees is where bacteria lives.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay. 40 to 140.
Mm-hmm. So you let it cool down, and then you put it in the refrigerator or freezer so it can get colder faster.
Wow.
Oh, so like if you're making meatballs and sauce, you want it to actually take it off the stove, cool it down, and then start packaging it for the freezer to reduce any sort of chance of getting bacteria in there.
Exactly.
Oh, I would have thought it was the opposite. That's fascinating.
Because it was
like
well, we've learned that lice die at like 130 degrees or whatever. So I would have thought keep it hot and get into the freezer.
Flash freeze. Yeah, no, it's definitely best to have a nice, like slower journey so that it can get colder sooner.
Well, isn't that where people also are supposed to be really careful to set their refrigerators at 40 degrees or below? Because some people don't set their refrigerator at a low enough temperature, and that can be a problem.
That's exactly why. Yeah, 40 and lower is out of the danger zone.
And what about when a bag puffs up? I heard that that's bacteria.
Yeah, so oxygen got in the packaging and started creating bacteria, and some bacteria can expel gas. So that's why products get bloated or items get bloated.
Oh.
Well, I was going to say, it gets farty then. So our products are getting farty. Yeah, basically, right? They have a little bit of IBS going on because they got the...
I do have a couple myths that I hope that we can talk about, Katie. So the first myth is that leftovers are safe until they start to smell.
No, definitely a myth. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely a myth, because even if they don't look any different or don't smell any different, like to Jennie's point, you could never know. And there could definitely be bacteria growing on there already.
Okay. And speaking of bacteria, another myth is that freezing kills bacteria.
It does not kill bacteria. Also a myth. It can stunt the growth of it, but it does not kill it.
Well, wait a minute. Okay,
Ooh.
I have a big question with this. So I was once told that freezer burn is like actually bacteria. Is that correct?
A freezer burn is due to obviously if it has oxygen in it, oxygen helps feed bacteria. So that makes a lot of sense.
So there's no way to know on your fuzzy ice cream if that's bacteria or not.
Just
So you can
toss
give
it.
them a microscope on Amazon.
Right. I guess that's the question. Is it like you have to microscopically would you have to, Jennie or Katie can answer this, but would you have to look under a microscope to truly know if there is bacteria in there?
Yeah, you would. You would. I mean, I was just throwing away some old food from my parents' house, packing up in the freezer, and some of the meat had been in there for like 5 years. And, although we would never eat it, by looking at it, there's no way you could tell that, it shouldn't be eaten. But I am sure that if we all decided to take a field trip to the lab and have a fun time looking under the microscope, that we'd see some really fun stuff underneath the microscope.
So circling back to what Molly was saying about myths and different things. Okay. Blueberries have fuzz on them, right? Quickly in your fridge. Is that, number one, is that mold? And number two, once you see that, in a restaurant or anywhere else, because I know you've worked in a lot of places where there's been tons of food prep and safety, do they just toss the whole thing out of the blueberries? What should we be doing at home?
Yes, it's mold. It's definitely a type of mold. And, spores can spread where you can't see them. Health-wise, I think I would just throw them. Mold is, not this exactly the same as Salmonella or E. coli, something to that effect. But yeah, spores spread very easily and very quickly, even if you're moving around it a little bit.
We've all eaten that fuzzy strawberry and blueberry.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The strawberries.
Yeah. Or the piece
fuzzy.
of bread that has mold on the crust.
Yeah.
And also it can spread to other things in your drawer that's with the blueberries too. And it can just sit there and live in the drawer and then possibly
it's a mold party time in your fridge. It's going to turn into a little party, a little after party.
Yeah.
Okay, so for all of my parties, and especially holiday parties, I always have a giant cheese spread. So we've got meats and cheeses and all kinds of things out. How long are those items safe to sit out before we need to put those back into the refrigerator?
Or throw them out.
Yeah. I have, learned on past experience that 4 hours. But the fun thing about cheese is it's actually recommended to leave out for an hour before you serve it.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Why?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So, a couple reasons is because it tastes better. You can get the flavor more when it's colder. It's, taste it a little bit less. The texture kind of goes to more what it's intended to be like for the person enjoying it. And then also because some cheeses, the wrapping actually can affect the flavor of it as well. So especially when you see cut and wrap cheese at the store that's freshly cut inside, you definitely want to air it out before you serve it because it can change the flavor.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah. What about shredded cheese? What happens in those bags?
What's that stuff all over it? What's that white stuff all over it?
I think that's potato starch or so isn't it like starch?
Is it starch?
To keep it from not clumping?
Yeah, to keep it from not clumping. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. But there's shredded cheese. A lot of it tends to be more processed. It's good. It's great in quesadillas. But you don't want to, I don't know if you want to leave that one out for an hour before you pop it in.
Yeah, but have you ever seen when shredded cheese, I hope I'm not the only person who's seen this, but has anyone seen in their bag of shredded cheese where it gets a little wet after a long time? It looks like it's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Look, everything's a little bit shredded and pub cheeses are kind of processed. But after a while, when cheese gets older, it starts to expel moisture.
Oh, that can't be good. That can't be good.
Yeah. It's the proteins, everything is starting to break down. And so the moisture is starting to come from it. It's starting its process and its journey to the trash, I think.
So I was gonna say, if you have wet shredded cheese, do we throw that out?
Yeah, lots of factors to consider, but usually that's, starting to break down. And then also temperature changes in your refrigerator can also cause condensation too. So kind of varies. Did you leave it open? Did you the bag and then maybe the refrigerator while you were putting your groceries away for a while and the temperature got a little bit too warm and then the moisture and everything caused condensation. So definitely different factors to consider. But I think a telltale is when the cheese itself, water in some of the bag, but the cheese itself, the ends of it or something starts to get a little milky and wet looking.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've definitely thrown that in a quesadilla if I was like desperate before. Oh, gross. Oh, gross.
You wanted your late night nachos.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Late
that,
night.
that might be more of like a quality and integrity kind of defect versus it's starting to actually go bad to harm you.
The blocks of cheese in your fridge, right? When they're a block, right? Are those expiration dates, like, do you adhere to those? Like, I mean, some of them are really long. Like Parmesan, it seems like that can stand there a long time. And I mean, and you never know the gauge with Parmesan. Do you ever notice that, like, you're like, oh, I can keep it for 3 months or whatever. And then you look in the fridge and it's like, now it's got mold, like the next day.
I absolutely love that we're talking about this Parmesan because, like, yes, this is so many fun facts for you guys. Actually, Parmesan doesn't even have to be stored in the fridge.
What?
It's one of it's like that cheese has broken down so much, like certain protein and fat and things like that breakdowns have happened in it, which is why it's so hard and so crumbly that it does not have to stay at refrigerated temperature. And if you go to some of the fancier, fancy cheese type stores like Italy or something, you'll see full wheels of Parmesan out of the refrigerator.
You do.
Stacked there.
Yeah. In Italy too, you just see it like stacked up everywhere, cheese.
Yeah, that's exactly why. It's because it's such a hard cheese. It's aged for so long and it's gone through different breakdowns in its aging process that it has it's like low risk of mold, and it has an extremely long shelf life. You're right about that.
What about prosciutto? It's aged too.
There is a lot of charcuterie meat that is also shelf stable.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because like in Italy they keep it like maybe in a cool cave or something, or you'll just see it hanging out in the stores. But here everything's refrigerated.
Yeah, everything's refrigerated. I mean, of course, you have different laws, but the cave thing also too, and you could be cave aged cheese, cave aged meats. Usually the caves are more in like the mountains, which is higher in altitude and typically cooler in temperature. So that helps. But there are plenty of meats that we sell that are shelf stable in the store today. Like if you go salami, for example,
right.
There's a lot of even those gift baskets. There's sliced salami. There's all that kind that is fine at ambient temperature.
What about condiments in general? Like, what do we need to know about condiments? Because, like, some people are like, I keep the ketchup in the fridge. And other people are like, I keep the ketchup on the shelf. And even when it's like a Frank's Red Hot and it's on the shelf, you kind of notice the little crusties starting to happen at some point. So, like, what is like the rule of condiments?
I feel like that is very, very depending on the company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there is a lot of different, like, surprising things either you assume or you don't know, but look at the label. The label, the ingredients, it very much varies by. There's some hot sauces you can leave out, some that you have to refrigerate, maple syrup, things like that. Like there's definitely varying by the manufacturer.
So do you put your ketchup in the fridge?
I don't eat ketchup.
Oh, wow. What about your hot sauce?
Hot sauce, I do keep it in the refrigerator, but I have kept it in the cupboard when it was a safe one. I can't remember what brand it was. Might have been like Valentina or something, but I didn't like it. And like you said, the crusties around, that's gross. And, it's a peace of mind of just being in the refrigerator.
Which circles us back to how what we were talking about before we started the episode. So I'm from Chicago and I love pizza. And I like a particular type of pizza. I like sausage pizza, the big hunky sausage pizza, as I said. And, that's hunks of sausage. So it's most likely pizza gets left on your counter for a while, right?
Yeah.
Before you put it away because you're watching the football game, or it's a kid's party, or it's just you're partying and the pizza's out there for hours. Then you put it in the fridge and then you eat it the next morning. What is the risk factor of my hunky sausage that probably sat the night before on the counter?
That's such a good question. Yeah.
Went back in the fridge and I didn't heat it up because for multiple reasons, I had to eat that piece of pizza right away.
Yeah. Hey, the pizza's definitely still good cold.
Yeah. It tastes good cold.
It does. I agree. Well, you're definitely okay for sure when it's cooling down, right? Because that would be a good process to do anyway, cooling down sitting on the counter. A lot of that from your pizza place is also super processed again. So to me, that affects it as well. Preservatives, and keeping that, because sausage.
A real Chicago sausage is going to be a real Chicago sausage.
you Chicago people might have higher risk of getting sick, but I mean, I've left, when I tried Chicago pizza, I left it out. I leave out Domino's. I mean, personally, I would leave it out for many hours and still eat it. I don't recall ever being sick from it, but I also do know that, like, if you get sick, a lot of people think it's like, oh, you're immediately sick. Oh, it was definitely food poisoning, but there's so many different types that you can get sick from 30 minutes after you ingest up to like 6 weeks.
Oh, wow. So wait, you can get sick up to 6 weeks after you eat something?
What?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. There's there's over 250 foodborne illnesses. So they all very much are different.
And how often should we be cleaning our refrigerators?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you follow my guidelines, it's like once a month. Probably. I mean, again, too, I think there's so many variables, too, of like what is spilled in there. If you have something like an egg that was cracked, like I just recently had an egg that was cracked and I thought it was raw yolk on the inside of it. And that was like, but that needs to be cleaned down, disinfected, and everything like that. So I don't have a spread of salmonella. Right. But if you just have your kids spill juice inside or something and you're wiping up as you go, I think in the same way you might clean, your microwave or your kitchen counters, we want to visibly keep it clean.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't clean their microwaves. So we have to tell people so you do your fridge once a month. You do a cleaning once a month?
Yeah, I probably should do it more, but yes.
No, that's more than me.
Same.
12 times a year cleaning the fridge?
One.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I have a small fridge.
Well, now I'm going to get a small fridge too because I can't keep anything in there very long. So why not just toss it and replace it? But going back to eggs, I mean, a lot of people say that you can leave eggs in the fridge. And I think even the expiration dates are like weeks and weeks and weeks on end. And my friend who is visiting from Chicago asked me last night, and we knew we were doing this episode. He's like, I think I once made an omelet from 4-month-old eggs.
No.
How long?
No.
Yeah. How long can they really stay? I mean, they have such a late expiration date.
I think in expiration dates in general, this is kind of a hot topic. And some of the time it seems like the expiration dates are more kind of like an expiration date for the store selling it as basically a suggestion for it needs to be sold by this date to the customer. So it might not be that everything immediately goes bad exactly on that date, but they're saying, this is their suggestion of when it expires, and that helps them to regularly keep fresher product in and, sell product at a store that's not going to be bad. But yeah, I personally take it as more of a need to kind of sell by date. I've definitely popped open things that have expiration dates on them.
So how long do you keep your eggs in your fridge?
I don't even look, to be honest with you.
So why is nobody worried about eggs? I mean, that's the question. Nobody worries about eggs.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good question. It's still, to me, my own opinion about it, it's sealed inside the egg, right? If it's cracked, we all know to kind of throw it away. It's going to leak. That's the way it's going to go bad. But it could possibly be because of oxygen not getting in there and it's staying refrigerated. Not foolproof, but way more unlikely than something like a steak sitting in your fridge for more than a few days that's raw.
Yeah. Meat scares me, I have to say. It does, because of the things that can grow in it.
Mhm.
So my husband will eat chicken cold from the refrigerator a couple days after we've cooked it. Is that bad?
No, that's another one. 3 to 4 days is actually still safe to eat, although it gets not such a great flavor.
Yeah.
It tastes chickeny. You don't want it to taste like that, but yeah, it's still safe 3 to 4 days.
So my husband thinks that, or he always says that you can't heat and reheat. Is that true? Like you can't like take a dish out, a chicken dish, heat it up, then put it back in the fridge, and then the next day reheat it.
I mean, the quality breaks down is a big thing about that, the quality of it. But I think where that lies keeping it safe is that temperature, smooth transition.
So you could like let it cool down. You could take like a plate of lasagna that has chicken lasagna. I'm making this up, and you let it cool down, and then you put it back in. Okay.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Okay. In fact, a lot of foods are sold that way. Like, if you go to some of the grocery stores and you see they sell hot chickens and they sell cold chickens, like Costco, for example, you can take that home and reheat it again.
I want to talk about the deli. Right, girls? Do you want to talk about the deli? I mean,
let's talk about the deli.
I grew up in Chicago. I live in LA. Like, I'm all about a deli, right? So we want to know everything.
Deli is scary.
Yeah,
it can be scary.
It's scary.
I mean, because of all of the stuff that you hear on the news about the salmonella or the listeria or whatever in the meat. And when you're pregnant, you're not supposed to eat deli meat without microwaving it first. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the deli scares me.
Why do you have to nuke it before you can eat it?
Because of the listeria. Is that right, Katie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bacteria easily can grow with meats and cheeses. So for those, of course, like it's policy that you mark it when you open it. So you make sure it doesn't matter if it's left over, you need to throw it out. But yeah, with foods like that, there's a higher risk of foodborne illnesses, and elderly and pregnant women are a lot more susceptible to foodborne illnesses.
What's the scariest thing we need to know about the deli?
Last time they cleaned it. That's what I'm worried about.
I know. I think in general, and food service in general, the scariest thing to me is like E. coli, because that is the bacteria that, if your food's hot, if your food's cold, no matter what, if the hygiene of the person serving you, that it creates E. coli, which is a virus caused by bacteria from feces. So I think just food service in general, that's the scariest thing.
Poop is just everywhere.
It is. Yeah. It can be in the ice. It can be in the ice in restaurants. Because one time, I think it was you and me, Molly, went to one of our favorite restaurants when David was just a baby. And the only people that got sick from the restaurant were me and David. And that's because we were the only ones that had a drink with ice in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to have been in the ice. And then we were diagnosed later on with norovirus from the ice.
Because people are taking their hands and putting the ice in your cup. But why weren't they using a scooper? You can't do that. You're not supposed to do that, right? In a restaurant, you're supposed to use a scooper, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to use a scooper, and it's supposed to be all the ice taken out and cleaned every single night. But there's no way everywhere does that. And then, you take their cup and scoop it out like that, and your hands are touching the cup, going in the ice.
Because the cup's going right in and your hand touches the ice. Ooh.
And the ice can get slimy too, right? If they don't clean it out. And then that's when it's growing some of that stuff. Yeah.
Oof.
On that note, well, the thing too about delis, like how long does deli meat last? Does it last longer than having a chicken in your fridge?
No. I mean, it's more processed, but I would say definitely keep with the same standards. I've seen stuff that I've even left in the refrigerator too long, and it also gets slimy and gross.
So, I was going to say that slimy.
Yeah.
I have bought like the organic ham for my son's lunches, and then like 3 days later, it's slimy ham. Is slimy ham when you throw it out no matter what?
Yes, I would say, yeah. And, your organic brands are probably going to go bad sooner.
Mm-hmm.
So slimy turkey and slimy ham is a no-go.
Toss it.
Absolutely. You know,
Toss
so.
that ham.
Yeah.
Toss that slimy ham.
Let's slip in the trash can.
Well, and I mean, with bread, we were talking about it earlier. Like, so you can't just cut off the mold on bread like grandma used to say, like Jennie said.
I think you're still taking a risk. Have I done it? Yes.
We've all done it.
I've done it with cheese.
Yeah.
I've done it with cheese.
All right. So, Katie, what are some of the rules that you break then? Since you break some of that rule with the mold in the bread, what are some of the other rules that you break that we probably secretly all break too?
My biggest one is definitely that expiration and best by date. I'm like smelling it, looking at it, I'm examining it and doing all the things, but I'm like, so that's my own thing that I break. And then another one is like when you are the person preparing food in that type of environment where you're selling it, you have to temp chicken to 185. And so at home, I don't go by that because it makes it dry. And even though in my mind, I'm like, it needs to be 185 because I'm trained for that, but I temp it lower because keep it juicy.
Well, yeah, I was going to say in a crock pot, which is like my favorite, or like a slow cooker, is to put the chicken in slow and low for hours. So that won't kill.
Like when it's cooked at internal temperature will be higher.
Okay. So even though your slow cooker is not on that 185, if you're cooking it for a long time, the internal temperature of the chicken breast can get to where it needs to be.
I mean, yes, because when I have crock pot chicken, I still temp it. I always have a thermometer and do always temp my meats. And I was temping my fish, and then I'm like, okay, it's not going to take that long. So, but I do definitely still temp my meats at home, and I wear gloves. With raw chicken.
Okay, yeah, hold on. So I need to wait. I start with the temping. So wait, everybody at home should check, even in your crock pot, check what temperature your pulled chicken, your chili is at, the whole deal.
I recommend it. Yeah. Anything with meat and things like that, I do recommend it getting to a safe temperature.
Salmonella is a big thing, right? With chicken.
Salmonella is a huge thing with chicken. Chicken actually can have salmonella, like it's in their body. And even a lot of people think, like, for example, with eggs, that it's the yolk. It's not just the yolk. It also can be on the outside of the shell. And that's because this salmonella that bacteria can live inside of a chicken's ovaries. And when they're laying.
Oh.
Or if it touches other bird droppings. So.
Should we wash the eggs then before we put them in the fridge?
I think the eggs do go through a wash process before the manufacturer packages them, but I'm always careful with my eggshells as well. Like I won't put it on my countertop after I crack them. I get kind of a trash paper towel pile ready to go, and then I'm like hand wash. But it's like my own paranoia from stuff like that I know about. But I would say be careful. I would say treat it as like raw chicken.
And so it's 185 for chicken. Is it different for other meats?
Yes. So the USDA recommends that you cook all your ground meat like beef, pork, veal, lamb at 160, your poultry ground and cuts at 165, and pork chops you want to cook to 145, ham, fresh or smoked, also needs to be at 145, and ham to reheat, just regular ham that you would buy to reheat as well, it needs to go to 140. And then fish and shellfish are at 145, and leftovers to 165 for a safe temperature. If you guys are interested, I actually have a really gross story to tell you about that I experienced with raw chicken.
Yes.
Oh, we want the gross story.
We want the gross story.
Gross. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So working in the deli, we had a designated dish washing sink, and then there's a designated, and of course stainless steel, designated food prep sink. So we would get these big 50-pound boxes of chicken, and then we would have to dump them, let the blood, water that's sitting in there drain, and then we would bread the chicken, put it back in its box so that when it's, ready to fry, it's breaded and ready to go. Well, during that process, it was like a policy that we pop the chicken thighs, which is so gross because what comes out of it, it looks like a blood clot.
Wait, what?
Like a,
Why did you have to pop it?
Sorry.
yeah.
What do you mean pop the chicken?
Yeah.
So you literally take like both of your thumbs like that and one hand on each bone, right? Because the bones are going kind of like this. So you pop them and out would come this gelatinous blood clot looking thing.
Cool.
Yeah. It gets worse.
Never eating chicken again.
Oh, it gets worse. Great.
It gets worse. But I will preface it by saying it's not a blood clot. It's not even blood, actually. What happens is it's a protein that gets stuck in the muscle. And because of oxygen and iron, it makes it red. So it's not even blood. It's not even blood.
Still
but
gross. It's still body juice.
It's still gross. And the reason why we do it is because
it's not blood, but it's this body juice.
Yeah. It's just raw chicken juice gross.
I think I'm going to have to go pop one now.
No, of course,
Yeah,
Jenny's
you
like,
should
oh, let's
try
it and see if
I
we
want
can
to try it.
Molly and I
Yes.
are like, bleh.
Yeah. But so the reason why is because like if you fry it and that's left in there and someone bites into a perfectly safely cooked chicken thigh, it might appear as if it's still bleeding. But it's not blood. So that's why we pop them. Anyway, I'm popping the clots as fast as I can. And
So good.
one shoots and splatters me right in the chest and then drips down the middle of my shirt and on my stomach, my belly button. It was foul.
Oh, so you had that's like out of a movie with like Ebola spreading or something. Like you literally.
So gross. I was like, oh.
What did you do? Did you like hose yourself down?
Oh yeah, I went to like there's like an accident scene thing if you get something in your eye and I'm like, oh. And then I that's what I remember doing. I wish I could tell you I immediately left, went home and took a shower, but chicken had to be sold,
Well, the belly button thing is what freaked me out. I would start Googling. I would be like, wait a minute, chicken thigh popped juice in my belly button.
Yeah,
Can
well,
I get
it started
salmonella?
up here.
So it went
Dripped
down your
into my belly
shirt.
button.
Kara, you're going to go and Google that later
I'm
tonight.
about to do
Don't
it right
even-
now. I'm gonna be like, wait, chicken juice in the belly button.
I cannot get that.
That's
out of
pretty
my
gross.
brain. Yeah,
Oh.
Salmonella running down your belly.
Yes.
exactly.
All the things you don't want running down your body.
Yeah.
So what about the pre-wash? Do you wash your pre-wash when you get like the pre-washed veggies? Are you like going home and still scrubbing?
See, I haven't been terrified by produce yet, so I definitely I don't use anything fancy, but I do take my time, with water and being. I know this kind of sounds gross, being all fresh like veggies and fruits, but I do hotter water so it can help to kill any bacteria from the pesticides it's been possibly growing.
So you wear gloves with when you handle chicken?
I do. Even at home, I have gloves underneath at my sink, and I just can't fathom like touching the raw chicken without it. And I always to make sure to take off the gloves in that safe way. I haven't felt raw chicken. I don't even know if I have ever. It's just been so long since it's an ick thing and it's a safety thing, and it just helps reduce spreading that possible salmonella around, which is also why you shouldn't rinse your chicken.
Oh wait.
Oh, wait a minute.
what?
Wait a minute. What?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. I thought you were supposed to rinse the chicken.
Right.
I do it every time.
Right.
Oh, yeah, definitely not supposed to rinse your chicken because of this. It's way easier to spread bacteria when you have washing it in water. It spreads in your sink. It can splash and things that like cross-contaminate it, like physically can cross-contaminate things, and you can get it on, say, something that you are not going to cook at a high temperature and then ingest.
Oh.
Mhm.
My gosh.
I'm very afraid of chicken, and I get weird about the sink, but I definitely rinse it and never thought I thought you were supposed to. I thought if you didn't rinse it, you were going to get sick.
So we're rinsing
Yeah.
salmonella all over our sink.
Yep.
we're bathing our hands in salmonella. Yeah.
Okay, so like when we have frozen chicken breast and we want to take them out of the freezer and we want to put them into the crock pot,
Mhm.
I always run it underneath hot water because you can't get the packaging off of the chicken. So is that safe to do or not safe to do?
Molly, I'm sorry. It's also not safe.
Oh my gosh. So
Get
what do I
yourself a
need to
butter
do?
knife. Get yourself a butter knife and get under there.
So you should not use hot water, and also shouldn't use, or shouldn't leave something out at room temperature to thaw. You should definitely either, if you're going to do sink, and that kind of is like more suggested as like last resort, you should let it soak in cold water until
Not
it's
hot?
thawed.
Okay.
Not hot. Yeah, no hot water. It changes the temperature too quickly, and again, danger zone. But yeah, refrigerator overnight is definitely best. So it can slowly get down to, the thawed without switching it up too much. And then microwave in some cases.
Oh, like the defrost in the microwave?
Defrost.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so you're never, ever, 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 ever supposed to leave anything on the counter to thaw that is meat?
No, it's not suggested you leave anything, like that on the counter to thaw.
My
room
whole
temperature.
childhood just got blown up.
Same. I
put it in the sink to like thaw. I don't put it on the counter, but I put it in the sink.
I knew not to do the hot water. Someone told me that once, and I thought it was because it was going to cook the chicken. I didn't know it was because the hot water can actually cause the danger zone for bacteria. But I did not know.
And then it also can like make the whatever it is, the protein thaw at different temperatures. So you're kind of right on what you're saying about the cooking. It's kind of like it can be different temperatures throughout, and that can become unsafe as well.
Oh, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. Okay. Well, okay, guys, brace yourself. Brace yourself for this question. Ready? Let's talk about cutting boards.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right.
Yes.
Because my daughter, who is 10 and a half and loves to tell us all these like really fun, gross facts that she learns, she was like, what do you think is more dirty? Do you think a toilet seat, if you licked it after, right? Or do you think a cutting board if you licked it, which is going to be more dirty? And I was like, I know this answer is not what I want to hear. So, because she's learned. She said the cutting board. She said the cutting board has more bacteria and germs on it than a toilet.
A big thing about that is the type of cutting board. So porous surfaces harbor bacteria that can cause illnesses. For example, if you have a wood cutting board, you never want to use a wood cutting board for raw, because it can go into the wood fibers to a place where you can't wash out with the hottest and soapiest water. Plus, you can't really soak
but
wood
all
anyway.
The fancy cutting boards are wood.
Mm-hmm. Serving our vegetables, fruits, anything that's like washed and cleaned and not raw. So you actually would want to go with a plastic.
So all those fancy cutting boards that they say, like, have one, they even advertise them for meat or whatever. It's a no-go no matter what.
Yeah. Wood is it's porous and it's gonna collect and keep.
Is there an expiration?
Your world has been rocked.
my friend Mike, who's here visiting from Chicago, last night he was like, but wait, you can't ask the cutting board question because I spent so much money on my cutting board. I don't want to have to throw it out or replace it. I'm like, I think we're going to find out the answer is really bad.
This is good for the holidays, though. If people are trying to buy cutting boards as gifts, then what should they buy?
Well, also, like, I have a stainless steel. So I grew up in a house where you had the wood block, right? That was built into your counter, which I'm sure I don't even want to know.
Oh,
yeah.
It's the harborer of everything bacteria, it sounds like. But I have a stainless steel chef's table thing. Is that safer?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Stainless steel is great. And which is exactly the reason why they use it all in industrial, settings for food prep restaurants, manufacturing plants. That's a great surface. It's easy to clean. It's sleek. It's not porous whatsoever. So
I'm better off cutting meat on that and cleaning the surface than to doing it on any one of
Mhm.
your cutting boards you might have. Because the thing about
Yeah.
plastic, scares me too, because if you're cutting on it, pieces of plastic can get into your food.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
and you're cutting into the plastic too, because so all of that fish juice and salmonella and, chicken salmonella can get down into the pores of the plastic cutting board too.
Like your cut marks and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
What about wooden spoons then?
Ooh.
Oh,
That's a
I
good
can tell your face already. Oh,
one.
because we think about you make a big vat of like my mother-in-law makes traditional Italian sauce, right? So they throw in like over hours, like the ribs or whatever it might be for the meat, right? And most people use a wooden spoon to stir that meat. And is that just is the meat bacteria just going
like a sponge of nasty stuff?
So I have learned that you're supposed to have a different, kitchen utensil when you're dealing with raw versus cooked. So if you're using that spoon to scoop with, and then put it in, you probably want to wash it and use something else. But it's also cooking in the vat. You know what I mean? So if you're like halfway through and dipping and there's all that sauce in there and there's different things, I would say it's like less risky. But if you're just literally used it to touch all the raw stuff, toss it in the sink.
So have you done stuff with restaurants too?
Yes.
Okay. This is a true story. I want everyone to brace themselves. I went to dinner at a restaurant in LA that was, I would say, medium schmancy. It wasn't, it was, it was a medium upper scale. Okay. And it had like a indoor outdoor part, like where the atrium was in the middle, kind of, like where you're kind of out open, but you're still enclosed in a building. And as we were wrapping up dinner, I saw something run across my booth behind my head. Yeah. It was furry and it had a really long tail.
Oh.
Then I turned to the right. I screamed and I turned to the ladies and we all turned to the right and we saw on the ground another furry tail and scurrying. So we saw 2 rats and that means that there's more. And I was telling someone this story and they're like, oh, I used to help my friend who owned a restaurant. We sometimes would move like furniture and stuff, at the end of the night for them. And there was always rat poop in multiple places.
No.
Okay. So can we talk about rats in restaurants? And I don't mean ratatouille.
Yeah. God, horrible sign. Like that, do you guys, also a question for you. Do you look at the ratings in restaurants?
Yes. I was just going to ask that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to be pretty bad, I think. Like I had a lot of visits from the health department in which I was responsible for making sure everything passed. So if you have a rat, multiple rats, anything like that, I think you're pretty bad off, to be honest with you.
Even if it's indoor or outdoor, right? Because you still have to be responsible, right?
I mean, yeah, you still have to be responsible enough and put, traps or procedures in place to keep everything safe.
Katie, this has been so fascinating and so helpful, especially since the holidays are around the corner and we all want to know how we handle our kitchen and our food.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And some mind-blowing moments for sure. Can you just quickly give us your top sort of takeaways for everyone to remember? Because we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So top takeaway would definitely be the danger zone within temperatures. So between 40 and 140 degrees is going to be when bacteria grows. So always cook your food 140 and above and store it and keep it below 40 in your refrigerator. Another tip is going to be the best way to thaw your food is in a refrigerator overnight. So not hot water. And you could also put it in the sink and thaw it in cold water. So make sure it's always cold and not on the counter. And then don't use wooden cutting boards or utensils because those are porous. So when you have a more porous surface, the bacteria can live and get deep inside there. And even if you wash it with hot soapy water, it can still bury in all those pores. So you definitely want to cut your raw meats on more stainless steel, non-porous surface like that, or a plastic cutting board. And then a personal tip, always handle raw foods with gloves if you can. It helps to prevent the spread of bacteria, salmonella, anything that can spread to your foods that you're not going to heat up and eat to a safe temperature. And also, in your sink, on your other utensils. If your meat is slimy, just toss it. We don't want slimy meat and cheese.
We don't eat slimy meat. We've learned no slimy ham.
No slimy ham, and it looks gross. It probably tastes gross too.
But you can have your rice for 3 to 4 days.
Yes, you can have your rice for 3 to 4 days. So the biggest, most important detail of preventing, you getting an illness from leftovers is after you cook it, you want to allow it to cool down for 20 to 30 minutes before you refrigerate it or freeze it. This helps to bring the temperature down so that when it gets in the refrigerator or the freezer, it can be colder quicker, and that takes it out of the danger zone temperature faster. And it always helps to have a thermometer on hand so that you can temp your meats as you're cooking them and your leftovers once you reheat them.
Thank you so much for being here, Katie. It was such good information.
Thank you, Katie. Just in time for the holidays. Thank you so much.
It was perfect.
I'm about to go scrub my sink.
I know. And get yourself some chicken soup that you can keep in the fridge. It's okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Katie.
I had so much fun talking with you guys about this, and hope you guys all have safe holiday food prep and cook.
And we'll throw our we're going to all throw our cutting boards out as soon as we get off this.
Yes.
So, girls, we all thought we were coming on today to just talk about leftovers, and we haven't even scratched the surface on the leftover stuff yet, because this stuff is so important, food prep and consume by dates, and just understanding how long something can stay in your fridge before it expires, before you worry about how you cook it. So we're going to have to circle back in another episode, and we are going to do it because this was so jam-packed with information. We will be doing another episode just on leftovers, what you need to know, and how you need to consume them or not consume them. Guys, I see a part 2.
Have a hilarious or horrifying leftover story? Or maybe a surprising food safety tip? We want to hear from you. Head to ogross.com and share it with us. You might even hear your story featured on an upcoming episode.
If you loved today's episode, don't forget to follow us on social at It's Oh Gross for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes clips.
Oh, gross. That drama's about to end, 'cause gross. Stop asking for a friend, taboos. Icky's what we do. Psoriasis, podiatrist, and pinworms too. It's so gross. No need for strife, because gross. Life is part of life, it's just science. Yeah, it's not so weird. We got the facts, nothing to fear. Oh, gross. It's just science, no, it's not weird. It's just science, nothing to fear. It's just science, so wipe those tears. It's boogers